ships.
Which is weird. A weird mistake cleaning out casinos.
Oh.
Moving
on. Donald Trump decided to keep the American embassy in Tel Aviv rather than move it to Jerusalem, as he promised on the campaign trail.
Moving the embassy to Jerusalem could have really solidified our alliance with Israel, but the problem is that it could also have validated Israel's claim to the entire city. And that's a problem because Palestine and the Arab world support Palestine's claim to the east side of Jerusalem.
And that could have escalated violence and made peace in the Middle East even harder to achieve.
Finally, the president granted 14 exemptions from the ethics pledge he set up to drain the swamp.
That's right. The waivers make it possible for several of Trump's senior staff members and some former lobbyists to work in areas they'd normally be barred from due to conflicts of interest.
For example, Steve Bannon can now contact his old publication and noted purveyor of fake news, Breitbart, and one ex-oil lobbyist can now weigh in on energy policy.
See, guys? No matter how far sea levels rise, now it looks like the swamp in Washington isn't going anywhere.
Ba-dum-bum. And that's in case you missed it.
Hold on, real quick, 1 second. I want to make a change before I forget it. He didn't decide to keep it in Tel Aviv in perpetuity. He just delayed the decision. He delayed the move.
Okay.
So you just right at the where it's at campaign trail, just put at least for now.
Moving on, Donald Trump decided to keep the American embassy in Tel Aviv,
Yes.
at least for now, rather than move it to
stuff?
Yep.
Jerusalem.
While you were talking, we added stuff right in between here.
Cool.
The cycle before we start this weekend. Yeah, so there's 2 lines missing in here. So it goes. This is like I'm Leah Jasmine. Then Jacques goes I'm Jacques. And then I'm going to be like, we know you're watching the NBA Finals, but just like stay with us for a quick 10 minutes because even Jeff wants to watch the NBA Finals. And then it goes to Jack's line.
Gotcha.
Okay.
See, like, I didn't know that. That's why I pointed over there early.
Yeah.
It's all
So
good.
here, let me like.
So should I just wait till you? I'm gonna just wait till you say this line.
Yeah.
And then
I have to. I
that
have to
works?
do it.
Yeah.
I have to do it in his line. So,
Yeah.
so there's a line from Jacques here, a line from me here, then Jacques,
you.
and then I should. See, I was to single cam. That should really happen. Like, I should already be on the single cam.
That's why this is a
So that should happen like
Gotta do
before. Like,
rehearsal.
each time
You
it
get it
says
right.
for me to be there,
Right?
cue me before.
I got you.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Jeff, you're from Cleveland, yeah?
Yeah, I was born there.
And you are a Cavs fan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Did you see the hilarious memes that were out there of, it was just a Photoshop picture, but it was LeBron in the Cavs jersey, but it had Cavs replaced with Kafifi.
Oh, no, I didn't.
It was amazing. I wanted so bad to order one of those shirts and wear it on the show today.
25 minutes.
But I guess there's just one guy who did it on his computer. It wasn't like a real shirt. I'm like, fuck,
That'd be
that's
hilarious.
so good. I hope everyone's wearing
let's
them.
keep reading here. We'll take it from, and that's in case you missed it.
And that's AJ's line.
And that's in case you missed it.
And now some important headlines that may have gotten buried in the big political. Is that big politics? In the big politics news. Okay. And go back a little
We're
bit.
just going to take a of the day. In the big politics news, it's below the fold. Okay.
And now some important headlines that may have gotten buried in the big politics news. It's below the fold.
The Trump administration debuted an insanely detailed questionnaire for U.S. visa applicants.
Applicants will have to list the exact dates of all international travel they've done in the last 15 years, as well as every single one of their old social media handles.
The White House says it's to fight terrorism. So, sorry, Pinterest user ISIS Lover 99.
Yeah, I think I'll make a joke there about one of my old names. Moving on, a Chicago court charged a 16-year-old girl as an adult after she allegedly stole a machete from Walmart and hacked an Uber driver to death.
This terrifying act appears to have been unprovoked and completely random. It's just the latest incident to have Uber drivers fearing for their safety.
Yeah, that's terrible. Next up.
Oh my God, was that blood splattered on the side of a car?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
You guys are live on YouTube right now.
On
Publicly?
YouTube?
Yeah, on the public page.
Were we
Well,
swearing?
that's embarrassing for all three of our YouTube viewers.
Yeah, no, not that anyone was watching, but it was just Jock looking down, and then you heard everyone in the room talking.
I was just making fun of Jeff, really.
Oh,
Yes.
Dope.
I'm gonna put a thumbs. I'm gonna dislike that. I'm gonna dislike
Thanks
that.
for letting us
Yeah,
know.
no, just see you. I'll be back.
Oh, fuck.
good and bad.
Nah, no one watches YouTube.
Literally no one does.
Like literally nobody.
It's better it happens now, so we know not to do that again than when people are actually watching.
He's usually on point with that. I think it's the first time it's happened.
Have you tried to push YouTube at all, or are you just staying to Facebook Live?
Yeah, I'm just staying on Facebook. Just pushing everybody to the Facebook.
We were always just gonna treat it as archive, right? For the most part.
But I thought Kelly was like saying that like one of the big things with the show was that they were never able to do anything on YouTube, and so for advertisers it was really good to say we had YouTube.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's take it from back to the Uber, I guess. Just a
All right.
fail.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
that is
taking it
probably
back
not on
from
That
this
is
one.
really scary.
This terrifying.
They showed it on.
Okay.
They showed it on broadcast, so we can show it.
This terrifying act appears to have been unprovoked and completely random. It's just the latest incident to have Uber drivers fearing for their safety.
Yeah, it's terrible. Next up, do suspects in court have to unlock their iPhones for an investigation? Two judges in Florida have very different answers.
One Broward County judge sentenced a man to 180 days in jail for contempt of court when he couldn't provide a working passcode. In a different case, in Miami-Dade County, a man who said he couldn't remember his passcode was not punished.
Legal experts disagree on whether being made to unlock your smartphone violates your Fifth Amendment rights, and the ease with which passcodes can be easily forgotten complicates things. It may take the Supreme Court to settle this one.
Mine's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You shouldn't say that.
I had to make a joke about it being mine's just 0, 0, 0, 0.
Okay, finally, Illinois became the second state to ban the gay panic defense.
Basically, this is like an insanity defense in court. If you committed an assault or a murder, you could argue that your victim's sexual orientation made you go temporarily insane, and therefore you get a lighter sentence.
And if you're wondering, yes, that does mean I should get a lesser punishment because the person I murdered was gay. It's still a viable, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's still a totally viable legal strategy in 48 other states. It's pretty crazy.
I don't even understand that. And that's below the fold.
Now it's time for a story about prescription drug abuse, but it's not Tiger Woods, so you might not have clicked on it. This is TLDR, or too long, didn't read.
But you might not have.
Once you say that,
Yeah.
we can go to this camera.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll wave you. Video.
cool.
Okay.
The state of Ohio is suing 5 pharmaceutical companies, accusing them of helping to perpetuate the opioid addiction crisis. The lawsuit argues that companies lied about the addictiveness of drugs like OxyContin and Percocet, and also underplayed the risk of deadly overdoses.
Yeah, Ohio lawmakers say these practices contributed to a nationwide epidemic of addiction that led to more than 183,000 overdoses. Can I say that again? I just want to make sure I get that number right. Ohio lawmakers say these practices contributed to a nationwide epidemic of addiction that led to more than 183,000 overdose deaths in the U.S. between 1999 and 2015. Opioid overdoses now kill more Americans per year than homicides.
The lawsuit claims that pharmaceutical companies knew about the dangers and pushed to get more and more of their pills out into the market anyways. The suit claims that there were enough prescriptions written to provide every single person in Ohio 68 pills a year. Earlier today, Ohio's Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor revealed that her 2 sons were struggling with opioid addiction.
It's really a shame. I'd love to see a future where the only drug abuse in Ohio is LeBron James's Rogaine supply.
Oh my gosh. Who you got in the finals, by the way?
I think the Cavs will win tonight, but I have Golden State in 7.
I'm going to go with the Cavs. And that's TLDR.
And now a segment where we tackle an important but really boring subject. And just when your attention starts to fade, we're going to hit you with something exciting to keep you engaged. This is Eat Your Veggies.
Tonight, we discuss offshore banking. We know it's a dry.
It's dry.
Got it.
I mean, I think of James Bond.
Yeah, let me see. Same here. We know it's dry unless you love money. I mean, it does involve tax code, corporate finance, spreadsheet, pretty much everything that you pretend to understand or say that you have a skill for on your resume. We'll break it up to keep you engaged. We'll keep you to keep you engaged. We'll break up. All right. Tonight we discuss offshore banking. We know it's dry. I mean, it involves tax codes, corporate finance, spreadsheets, pretty much everything you pretend to understand on your resume, but you don't really. To keep you engaged, we'll break up the lecture with some laugh out loud clickbait, like this video of Mr. Met flipping the bird at a fan, which raises the question: can you technically give someone the middle finger if you only have 4 fingers on each hand?
I mean, better question. Wouldn't New Yorkers love this? Isn't that like
You
a
would
New
think
York
so.
thing? Like, wouldn't that make him even more of a
You would think
a
so.
hometown hero? Okay, let's get started. So, what if offshore banking? So, what is offshore banking? It's when someone stores their money in a bank that's located in a country they don't live in. It's not technically legal unless you're doing it to avoid paying taxes in your home country.
But a handful of countries, most notably Switzerland and a number of places in the Caribbean, have laws that guarantee their offshore accounts remain secret. That's why movie supervillains and real life rich people always hide money in the Cayman Islands. We're losing you. We're in the Cayman Islands. We're losing you. Here's a hilarious map of the most common porn search typos by state. America sure loves its Lepsiam Parm.
Okay, so why does this matter? Less tax revenue means less money for schools, roads, social programs, big beautiful walls on the southern border, if that's what you're into.
And we're talking about huge amounts of money here. A new study found that the richest 0.01% of people may be hiding up to a third of their income in tax havens. One of the researchers estimated that up to 10% of the world's GDP is hidden in these tax havens. I feel like I say tax havens a lot.
Let's see. The third of their income tax havens.
Goes untaxed.
One
All right, hidden in these accounts. Can we just say in these accounts?
is hidden in these accounts. Sure, yeah. I like that, yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, I like that better.
Okay, in these accounts. Okay, take it from that means.
Hidden in these accounts. That means governments around the world are missing out on trillions of dollars they could be using to support their citizens. Of dollars they could be using to support their citizens.
Okay.
I can tell we're losing you, so here is a photo of the newest Oreo flavor to hit the shelves. That's right, jelly donut flavor.
I'm just gonna say no.
No.
No, not for me. Not for me. I appreciate the ingenuity, Demisco, but no. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, then I just okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just gonna like rip
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Okay. There is a really well-known like English cookie that looks like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you guys
I
ever
do.
seen? They're from England and they have the jelly in the middle.
biscuit?
They're a huge hit in Canada.
She's Canadian.
Canadians love them.
She's Canadian.
Anyways, I won't talk about that. Okay, back to banks. Tracking this stuff is incredibly difficult. Banks have tons of complex mechanisms to hide people's money. The true scope of the world's tax evasion problem didn't really come into focus until the last decade or so, when massive data leaks like the Panama Papers provided a window into the offshore banking world.
We know that tax stuff is really dull, but this is a huge deal. The world's richest people illegally squirrel away trillions of dollars that should be going to the public good. Every time you hear about a public school teacher getting fired because of budget cuts or someone's government health care benefits being slashed, you should remember that the money to pay for those things, it does exist. It's just in the wrong hands.
And that's Eat Your Veggies.
And finally tonight, let's end with some expert level trolling from
Sorry, yeah. Or I'm gonna say by. Okay, yeah, cool.
expert level trolling by the homepage editors at weather.com.
I loved this. As people who spend their days analyzing climate patterns, it's no surprise to see that they had a few thoughts about Trump's decision to leave the Paris Agreement. Did they make those thoughts known in an angry blog post like everyone else? Nope. They simply arranged the stories on the weather.com homepage to read, "So what happens now? Still don't care? Proof you should. And more proof. And even more proof."
Wow.
So
Forecast
good.
calls for a little bit of shade, just a little bit.
And that's The Cycle. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday because The Cycle never stops.
Yeah, in the meantime, be sure to like and follow us at The Cycle Live so you never miss a story.
Woo!
Make sure to follow us and
at
for
The
Jeff
Cycle
Live on Twitter and Instagram.
And like, share, subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook, all that good stuff at The Cycle Live.